So, that is simple somatic reflex arch. And for comparing, I will draw the autonomic nervous system reflex arch. So here will be, for example, skin. Here muscle. And here, for example, some intestine. Wall adventitia, then will be folds and muscle. So, impulse from the receptors of the skin, for example, will go to the body of sensory cells, which locate in the spinal ganglion, which locate out of the central nervous system, and it's part of the peripheral nervous system, spinal ganglion. Then axons will go to the spinal cord along the sensory roots to the posterior horn of the gray matter. In that place locate the interneuron, which transmit impulses from posterior corn to the anterior one, and is transmit to the motor neuron, which located in the anterior corn of the spinal cord. Then through the motor roots, which locate anteriorly, its exit. Then it goes to the sensory, connect together, form spinal nerve, and spinal nerve, it goes to the muscle, for example, muscle contract. We feel pain, muscle contract, we take out from the pain. Yes, action. 3 neuron way. For autonomic nervous system, for example, we had, gastritis. Here we had pain receptors on the mucus of the intestine. Sense from the mucus, pain, tactile sensitivity. It goes to the body of sensory cells, which locate in the same place like previous one, spinal ganglion. To the same posterior corn where locate the interneuron. Interneuron transmit impulse to the neuron which locate in the spinal cord in the lateral corn, and it's part of vegetative system. Preganglionic fibers together with motor axons, it goes to the vegetative ganglion, which locate also out of the central nervous system, and here it transmit impulses for postganglionic neuron. That some ganglion, vegetative nervous system ganglion, locate near with organ or near with vertebral column, spinal ganglions, for example, sympathetic ganglion here. Then from that ganglions again to the spinal nerve, and together with spinal nerve, it goes postganglionic fibers, for example, for the muscle, and muscle contract. So that reflex arch are 4 neurons, and it's different. Here, interneuron and motor one locate in the spinal cord, but here postganglionic locate out of the spinal cord. That is the difference. Now let's look on the spinal cord and internal structure. Have a look on the horizontal section of spinal cord. Here you can see the gray matter and white matter which surrounds the gray matter. In the center of spinal cord, we have the opening. That opening is central canal. That is central canal. Canalis, centralis. The central canal located along all spinal cord and distally near with medulla cone, it forms some dilation, which called cistern or terminal ventricle. Inside that canal here will form this terminal ventricle. The small dilation. The gray matter of spinal cord formed by the bodies of neuron. Some fibers of the neuron, dendrites, axons. Also, the cells of neuroglia, which supporting tissue for neurocytes. And also here locate the vessels of microcirculatory. Yes, correct. Everything located in the great matter. Also here locate not only neurons which had common shape, size, and common function, which groups and form some nucleus. Also we had here many disseminated cells. It means a lot of different cells, which mainly form that gray matter. The posterior horn forms the posterior column. Anterior horn forms anterior column. Between them locate the central intermediate substances. On some place, it forms some enlargement or processes which called lateral horn and lateral column. That processes very developed and visible, easily be visible on the level of C8 till L3, spinal segment, of course, lateral cord. In other place, it seems like substances. Now let's have a look on the gray matter. We had here a lot of nuclei. Nuclei is a group of neurons which has same shape, same size, and same function. Locate in the same place. That is a group of neurons which called ganglions or nuclei. So, in posterior cord, in the middle of cord, we had sensory nuclei, that's why I color it by blue color. Sensory nuclei, which has name proper nuclei. Nucleus, proprius, proper. On the base of that horn, posterior horn, we had another one nuclei, which more developed in the thoracic part of the spinal cord, and we will call it thoracic nuclei, nucleus thoracicus. Next nuclei locate in the intermediate substances, and we call it medial intermediate nuclei. So that is nucleus intermedius, medialis, medial intermediate nuclei. All that nuclei actually are intermediate nuclei. It means that transmit impulses from the posterior horn to the anterior one, from the right to the left half, from up to down, or from down to up, from up to down, or from down to up. Another sensory part of posterior horn, it's located almost on the corner of that horn, and it's called gelatinous substance. parentheses, substanță gelatinoză. Actually, we also had here disseminated substantiation and terminal zone. You should right now just memorize the name of them and quality, sensory, motor, or vegetative. Later, we will talk about it and I will describe for you function of that nuclei. Vegetative nuclei is sympathetic nuclei, sympathetic nervous system nuclei. That nuclei is lateral intermediate nuclei, nucleus intermedius, lateralis. Actually, not only sympathetic nuclei present in the spinal cord, also we had parasympathetic nuclei, but parasympathetic nuclei located in the sacral part of the spinal cord on the level of S2 or S4. On that pirate, we had parasympathetic nuclei, but that one is sympathetic. Next nuclei are motor, and you can name them just motor. So all of them are motor nuclei, nuclei motorice. But even they had specific name. Anterior medial, posterior medial, lateral, anterior, lateral, posterior, and central nuclei. So all of them are motor nuclei. Now let's talk about the white matter. White matter surrounds the gray matter. And we divide sensory and or ascendant fibers and motor or descendant fibers. Let's start from ascendant. So first is posterior fascicle, the medial part, which called gracilis fasciculus, and lateral one, which called cuneate fasciculus. So that is fasciculus, gracilis, and cuneatus fasciculus, cuneatus. If you will see the shape of that fasciculus, you will see that gracilis, it means thin, cuneatus, it means like cone shape, cuneatus. So cuneate and gracilis fasciculus. Both of them relate to the voluntary proprioceptive sensitivity. We had three types of receptors in somatic nervous system: proprioceptive, interoceptive, and exteroceptive. Proprioceptive receptors, which locate in the muscles, bone, joints. Interoceptive, located in the internal organs, and exteroceptive, located in the skin. We feel by temperature, tactile, pain. That's different receptors. So proprioceptive, it sends from our muscle, joints, and bone. Right now you sit on the seat. Did you feel that you sit? That your arm is flexed? That your elbow attached the table? You feel the position of your body. And that is voluntary because you understand it. If we had voluntary, we should have involuntary. Involuntary center located in the cerebellum and fibers which goes to the cerebellum will called spinal, from spinal cord to the cerebellum, cerebellar